We are delighted to introduce all of our viewers to Kay Barringer. Kay's business is called Transitioning Services, and Kay's specialty is helping people downsize and move. We have been associated with Kay for a while, and she has helped a lot of residents who have moved into Merrily Meadow and Village. And we're delighted to be able to bring Kay to you today for her to share with you your happy, helpful tips of getting this done. So, Kay, I'm going to turn it over to you, and away we go.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, everyone, for being on this afternoon. And thank you to Masonic Homes, specifically Tammy and Mary, for having me out today. As you can see, Mary allowed me to come to one of the model kitchens here. So you'll see microwave and cabinets behind me. So hopefully it'll be like we're all in our homes today talking to each other. Again, my name is Kay Barringer. This is my 10th year in business. All I do is work with seniors who are in perhaps a need to downsize their existing home, or they're thinking about making a move to a beautiful property here at Masonic Home. And sometimes the biggest obstacle is, what do I do with my things? So one of the things I want to do today as we talk through this process is really challenge you to think about rethinking the process. And this phase in your life and looking at making a move is all about you. I find people have a tendency to worry about their adult children, nieces, nephews, family, and that kind of thing. This is your time to think about you and what's important to you and what you want the next step to look like for you. So I'm going to just kind of talk you through the general process of what I do and how I do it. Mary's got some questions for me, and then I'll go into a couple other areas as well. When I get a referral from Tammy or Mary that someone's interested in moving into the Meadow, I will just come out and do a free consultation with you. I like to come to your home. I like to meet you. Of course, I'll have a mask on and just see how you're currently living and see the areas of your home that are important to you. Then I'll reach back out to Tammy or Mary about what space you will be moving into here at the Meadow. Think about the design, the layout, any specific issues that you may have with regard to the layout, and we can move forward from there. I have a team of people that work with me, and we take you from packing up, the organization, the tagging, the labeling, the layout of the apartment, to actual moving day. One of the things that is really important to me as we look at helping someone move in is this. I don't drag it out. I want to get you in there within the right time frame for you. But what we can do, let's say you're moving into an apartment here, I will come out, do the consult with you, then we'll plan a couple of short packing and organizing days. We will come out for a couple of hours, begin the process, but the day before the move, we will pack you up 90%. You can, of course, stay in your home that night. We won't touch the television, the bed, the meds, and that kind of thing. And then the morning of the move, I'll be with you every step of the way, disconnecting your television, stripping your bed, anything that you need done. We'll even take the contents of your refrigerator for you, and I'll be there to guide the movers through the process. Then I'll meet you at the Meadow, and my team that's helped you prepare and pack and get ready to come over here will meet us there. We will 100% unpack you that day. There might be just a few small things, maybe some artwork that needs to be hung, that kind of thing. But we will get your bed made, get your bathroom set up, get your kitchen set up, and we will take all the boxes and paper and bubble wrap and everything with us that afternoon. And you can comfortably stay in your new space that night. So that is of high priority to us as well. I, over the years, have really partnered up with other phases of your downsize that are important. I work with local charities. I work with some online auction companies. And when I meet with you, I can go into great detail on that. Perhaps you have some things that need to be consigned. Maybe you need things shipped to an adult child that lives out of state. I've been doing a lot of that recently because of some travel restrictions for people. And then sometimes we just have an area of our house that just needs to be cleared out, maybe the garage or an area in the basement. And I work with a wonderful company here in town that does that. So we try to bring all the fingers that come along with getting this glove put on for your move. One of the things that people really struggle with is photographs, china, all the personal things that are very sentimental to you that maybe you're finding that your family might not be quite as interested in. So we were talking earlier, I encourage you to go ahead and just start using that china and that stemware and just enjoy it and put it in the dishwasher. But there are some companies here in town that I can get things sold or consigned with them, maybe offer them to a granddaughter, maybe something special you all did together. So the other thing I would encourage you is if you're going to give something to a family member, go ahead and do it now, because allow them to have the time to enjoy and appreciate. Maybe you're going to give up hosting Thanksgiving or Christmas, and now they can enjoy using those things in their home. So that would be my first advice in getting started, is if you know you're going to give something to an adult child or a grandchild, let them go ahead and enjoy it now. So Mary, did you have a question?
Sure, Kay. So to give us a little bit of advice about why is this so difficult to do? Do you have insight on why people are so resistant to making this kind of a move?
Well, Mary,
or even getting things cleaned out. Why is there resistance?
Sure. Well, that is a great question, first of all. Second of all, half the battle with anything in life is just getting started. So like I said, I'll come out and do a free consultation with you. Maybe I can give you some tips and ideas on some areas to start. Maybe I can give you a phone number. Maybe you want to start with getting some things sold first. But I think the hardest part is maybe just the energy that it takes to do this. You know, if you've lived in your home for a long time, you built that home over 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And sometimes things have happened in our life to change how we're living in our home. And it takes energy to do that. My team comes in, we have a lot of energy. Somebody called us bees today, which I thought was pretty funny. He said it in a good way, but we're not emotionally attached to your things. We're there to kindly and lovingly, but effectively help you deal with the contents of your home. And maybe along the way, challenge you a little bit about, do you actually need that? And could that be something that could benefit with someone else? But I think that's the number one thing right there. I had a really fun client 4 years ago, and we would we spent about 2 months, and I just went one morning a week, once a week, and we just went through her whole house. And then she moved, and she would say, leave me a note on my kitchen counter of one thing you want me to do till I see you again, that I can do, instead of her feeling like she had to tackle her whole basement or whatever. She just said, leave me one task that I know before I see you again would be helpful to do. She also had the problem that she became the family keeper of every photo that had ever been taken. And it took a couple of weeks, but over time she realized she didn't even know who some of these people were. So we worked with a process on getting photos streamlined, downsized to where they were manageable and what was important to them.
Kay, you've shared with us stories of clients you've worked with in the past, and you have some great advice about selling, men moving, or moving, men selling. So share a little bit of that, please.
I think that that is probably my biggest challenge to you as you're thinking about perhaps a new start in your new home here at the Meadow. And what I Hello. And then what I think, I could not challenge you enough today that don't live in your home while you're trying to sell it. I find that to be a very stressful task for people. So in the planning process and the organizing process of looking at getting you moved here, we will get all the process planned out and organized so that we can get you moved first, then have the second and third phase of maybe the auction company coming to get contents. Maybe there's just some areas of the house that need to be cleaned out. I just moved a client in here 2 weeks ago, and they need some repairs done at their home. So this week, while a team I work with is going to be clearing their basement, he's going to be upstairs patching the drywall. And then their house is going to go on the market in 2 weeks after it's cleaned. So I would encourage you to take care of yourself first. Make yourself the first priority and look at making that move first. And there's things we can do to make that line up quickly and efficiently.
So Kay, you've been really great today about talking about soup to nuts from the very beginning of coming in and doing that analysis and unpacking on the other end when they've already moved. That's full service. Do you do just parts of it?
Yes. So I met with a lady actually on Monday of this week. I took care of her sister and her husband several years ago, and she's about a year or two out from moving, but she really just wants help in starting with her basement. So I'm going to her house every Monday afternoon for the next 4 weeks. We're just going to work from 2 to 4. We're going to have a labeling system in place, and we're going to pull everything down, and once a week for 2 hours, just go through her basement so that she knows what she's got. So when the next move is ready to happen, she'll have everything organized, labeled. She knows where it's going to go in her new place. We can do as much or as little. The couple we worked with this morning, they are downsizing. They just didn't have the energy to pack and unpack. They're in their early 70s, very vibrant. So my team went over there today, and we packed their place up in 4 hours. We labeled and organized everything. The movers are coming tomorrow, but then they have a whole week to get themselves unpacked. I'm going to go follow over and make their bed because that's the most important thing. But they just wanted us for that. So we do a little bit of everything along the way.
And Kay, if I'm correct in understanding, and we want to make sure our viewers understand, your moves are not just with older adults. You work with all sorts of people at all stages in their lives, correct?
That's right. My youngest client was 26 5 years ago. It was 2 sisters, 26 and 29, and their young father had passed away, and he left them a very large home that was very full. On top of all that, it was just a really emotional and heartbreaking situation. The girls were not going to live in the house, so it was a labor of love for several months. We just, you eat an elephant a tiny bite at a time, and sometimes they just didn't feel like doing anything. But in about 3 months, we were able to distribute, organize, and get the whole house dealt with and get on the market so they didn't have to care for this home. We've worked with busy executives. We've just done all kinds of things along the way. So it's not just senior adults. That is the majority of what I do, but we will also take on younger clients.
So one of the last things to talk a little bit about today is a subject that we're all kind of really tired of, and that's COVID.
Sure.
And you are helping people move during this time.
Yes.
Just tell us briefly what you're seeing, because we know on the Masonic Homes Inn what we know, but share a little bit about what you're seeing here in Louisville in the community.
Absolutely. About the third week, well, first of all, I had a lot of clients that got a little scared in March, and even though we had a little window of getting people moved in safely, they chose not to. So then they had to wait. So the third week of May, the majority of my independent living communities were allowing us to move people in. And we haven't stopped since then. It's been a very, very busy time. The communities are safe. They are bending over backwards to make this process smooth and easy and helpful to you as a new client moving in here, but also for my team coming in. They just cannot accommodate us enough. When we're working in your home, my team, we're all masked all the time. We keep an appropriate distance from you. One of the things I will do is do a lot of pre-organization so that when my team is in there working, maybe perhaps getting you packed or ready for a move, the interaction won't be quite as intense as it has been in the past. So I'll come out and do some labeling and organizing and make lists so that my team can just efficiently come in there and take care of that. But we have not had a single snafu. The communities, in particular Masonic Home, they have beautiful plans in place to make the moves go smoothly and appropriately. And I personally feel like this is one of the safest places to move in because of how they have structured that process.
Thanks for that compliment, Kay, as well. And yes, we are open and people are able to move. And I want to ask Kay one last question, and I know it's a hard one.
Okay.
But what's your biggest piece of advice for anybody that's trying to take that first step and work on this?
Even if you feel that you're comfortable in your home, but you feel like it's on the horizon, it is never too early to do your homework and come and meet with Mary and Tammy and understand what this looks like, what senior living looks like, what independent living at the Meadows looks like. It is never too early. You can never have enough information. The other thing I would encourage you is in the years, this is my 10th year in business, I've never had anybody tell me they regret moving. What I hear 97% of the time is, I wish I had done this sooner to enjoy it. Sometimes situations arise and the move is more of a sense of urgency, and that's more stressful on everybody. So I can't encourage you enough to get out and take a tour, gather your information, and be an educated consumer on what is best for you and what's available to you out there.
Thank you, Kay. That's
Sure.
Great advice. And we're very appreciative that you were willing to share all of your expertise with us.